So for the Ring alarm system, there's a lot to go over, but the overall rating is an 8 out of 10. What's included in the Ring alarm system is the base station, the keypad, the window and door contact sensors, motion sensors, and a range extender. So the overall cons, it's an easy setup unless you pull the plastic on more than one device at a time. Then it seems like the app gets confused. It can't set up more than one device apparently, at least not at once. And so that can kind of it can be a bit of a pain if you start pulling plastic on each of the devices too quickly. So be sure to do it one at a time. However, if you do it one at a time, it's an extremely easy setup. The Generation 1 keypad looks and feels cheap. The keypad is also poor quality overall when it comes to normal functionality. I had it for, I think it was 2 months, and Ring already had to send me a new one. And the second one that I've got, I've kind of given up on trying to fix. The keypad's supposed to light up whenever it senses motion. Well, it doesn't. So, that's something that is to be concerned about, that it's a little cheap. It's poor quality. However, on Generation 2, I think they improved upon the firmware as well as the quality of the overall quality of the keypad itself. Some of the pros, though, of the alarm system is that it's a very easy setup if you do it one device at a time. Contact sensors for windows and doors work very well and can be screwed in or taped up with double-sided tape. Just a word of advice, the tape works well, but don't slam the door, or sometimes, when the wind catches the door, it'll slam it. I've had issues with sensors falling off because of that. So, if it's a permanent residence, you're going to be better off screwing the sensors on. Whereas if it's not a permanent residence, or it's permanent for a year, maybe 2, just do the double-sided tape and don't slam the doors. The motion sensors work pretty well. They pick up on things pretty good as far as your degrees each direction. They seem to get a pretty good range on them. The range extender also helps out for devices that are pretty far away from the base station. This range extender really helps them communicate with the base station. The base station is actually really loud. When the alarm goes off, you can adjust the volume, which is great, but it gets pretty loud. So if you have a large house, you're going to hear it everywhere. There's lots of customizing as far as sounds and how sensors work and so on. So there's a lot of cool things in there, a lot of settings to play with. One of my favorite things about the alarm system is customizing the sounds. I have a different sound for different doors. And so that way, I know which doors open. You can also add different sounds to windows. So that way, if a window's open versus when a door's open. And Ring also introduced Halloween sounds for the doorbell for festivity, which I thought was kind of cool. Lots of things to play with there. I do also like how, one of the other cons is that there's no glass breakage sensors. However, one thing I think is kind of cool is that it does work with all of your Amazon Echo devices. So that way, if you set them to guard, they'll listen for any type of smoke detectors going off or glass breakage. And it works with the Ring system. So if an Echo device senses glass breakage, it'll alert the Ring alarm system and it'll go off. And it's actually pretty cool. So, there's a con and a pro there all in one. The system has some stuff it can improve on, like getting some sort of glass breakage. I don't think it's a full-on replacement for an extremely complicated professional setup such as ADT or one of the big alarm companies like that. However, if you're a DIY type of person, you don't need a big alarm system like ADT. I think this one is great, and that's why I give it an 8 out of 10.